What is up, Baku gamers? Today we are bringing you the leaks that you've been waiting for. Yes, it's finally time to talk about Darkushadow, but we have a little bit of other cards to go over before we even touch Darkushadow. Yeah, I'm gonna have you wait before that discussion, as much as we're all waiting for that. But we've had a lot of leaks thanks to Cucumber God from the Fusion Force set. Thanks to Ghost Lights for being the mediator in between Cucumber God. Yeah, alright. We gave credit. And don't forget, go over the Brawler Cafe spreadsheet. It has all the links mentioned here, and we've been very, very, very on top of the leaks that have been coming through after so, and as they come out, we will continue to update them. Thank you to Toolbox for putting in the biggest work, for putting in the Cucumber CA leaks in here. Without further ado, let's talk about our first card. Thermal Bakufusion Power. It is a one-cost Aquos Ventus card that allows each player to draw a card and the energize a card from hand uncharged. Can't use it that turn. Is optional, so they can just choose to take the draw one without energizing, or you both can energize. I really like this. I really like this for what it does. For a one cost, I feel like as far as turbo decks go and cards that want to energize as fast as possible, this is a very good addition, and it kind of combines the best of both worlds when it comes to Aquos and Ventus. The Aquos lets you draw, the Ventus lets you energize. But on the same token, it does not enable turbo, because obviously it allows your opponent to energize at the same time. But I like it for one cost for what it does. Honestly, it doesn't need to have your opponent be able to have these buffs as well, like both sides. Honestly, it could have been without that for the same cost, I feel. Definitely. Because it's not that overpowered for what you're getting, especially in today's day and age with how power creep is happening. It definitely could have just been you draw and energize if you want. Now, Bakufusion Rockets is a one-cost card, so we're getting a lot of good one-cost cards or free value cards in this set, so that's why a lot of people are dreading it. Because it just changes the game completely. But this is one of the cards where it's more intricate than just the free value. So it is a one cost plus 200 and then plus 300 for each Bakugear attached to that Bakugan. So if you have a Bakugear, it's basically Nature's Power, and then it can also get up to 800 B power for one cost. That's really good value, but it does take a little bit of setup, because it is like one of those cards that are in this set to where it requires 2 gears for it to have some insane value, like Bakufusion Fury, I believe, which was the 3 cost that we saw in one of the previous leak videos. That was the 3 cost, and you gain 3 energy for each Bakugear attached to your Bakugan. So it's one of those cards, but just less value than, say, energy cost. But 800 B power for one is nothing to sneeze at, but you were pretty much going to be already ahead if you had 2 Bakugears that give B. So that's Bakufusion Rockets. Terratomic Overdrive. I actually really like the design of this card. Not the art. The art is stupid. I don't like this Bakugan whatsoever. He freaks me out. But 3 cost Terratomic Overdrive. 100 for each energy card you have in play, but 1 damage for each energy card if you are over 7 energy cards. So it's like that one card in BB, Nature's Wrath, I believe. It's an X energy, so it's no matter, it depends on how much energy you use, you get that much B power or damage. You had to choose. Now with Terratomic Overdrive, you get both, but the thing about it is you don't have to spend the exponential energy that other card from BB has you spend. This is just flat 3 all across the board, so you're getting more and more value the more energy you have for the same cost. So I really like this card. It's kind of like we're getting a lot of good turbo cards in this set, so mainly 2 but yeah, you know what I mean. Unexpected Attack. Now this is a very, very, very fun card, and I hope there's a lot of cards that come out that are similar to this effect, that allow you to use your discard in fun and interactive ways, or even competitive way, or recursion. This is the one of 2 recursion cards that we've seen in Fusion Force so far. One is the Aurelus Pegatrix Evo that we'll see in a later video, but we're just going over the action cards today, or like just the main deck cards that are not Evos, or because I'm going to go over the Evos in the epic character card video, which is coming up soon. But unexpected attack, it is shuffle your discard pile, then randomly reveal one card from it. If it isn't a flip card, play it for free. So the flip card is pretty much the staple among random reveal cards, because what are you going to do with that if that's the thing that you pull? Stop the attack in advance? I don't know. They could have implemented to where flip cards are not completely useless in like mini cards, because flips just seem to be a dead draw in all aspects. But nevertheless, I feel like this is really fun, and I cannot wait to use this card, although it'll need some fine-tuning if we ever get to the point where using things from discard is a viable option, a la Nova Burst. I feel like there could be some wacky plays, but 3 cost I feel like is a little bit high for this. Depends on like how big value cards that you discard, or like whether or not you think that you can dump crazy enough cards to where it would become like more than its value, because it has the potential to have a lot of value just because you're playing that flat 3, kind of like how we use Nova Burst. But Nova Burst is a little bit more reliable because it is cards that you discarded that turn, and you can choose that card that you discarded. So take that as you will. This is more of a randomized Nova Burst. Here it is. Here it is. I didn't know I had it so early. I thought we were going to talk about it last. But Darkushadow. Let's talk about Darkushadow. Okay, so mono decks are officially dead. This card may not seem like it is insane, but trust me, it is. It has the potential to completely discard a whole hand without any sort of remorse. Look at this freaking thing. Look at this monster. Does it look like it shows mercy? I do not think so. Why do you think it's hiding under the bridge? Okay? It does not want to be seen because it has done some heinous acts, and it does not care. It just hides because it's scared of daylight, okay? And just like scared of daylight, I am scared when this card shows its face in daylight, because I don't want to see this card. So there was some controversy on whether or not Ventus Sync was better than Pyrus Sync, and Darkushadow pretty much sealed it for Pyrus Sync, because you can super fuel this out turn 2 and discard all of your opponent's hand unless they are playing Sync, and they are allowed to activate all their cards in response. But more than likely, turn 2, there's not a lot of cards that you can activate from your hand turn 2. So if you say Aquos with this card, and Aquos is being seen everywhere, they're more than likely going to discard their whole hand. And especially for combo decks where they rely on Aquos for literally everything, drawing, clone army, re-rolling, like Serp, this kills Serp, this kills Trox, this kills mono decks for sure. This kills a lot of things, especially if you can get it out turn 2. If your opponent does not have the Blinding Ink or the Baku Slumber, they are dead. If they cannot negate this card, they are dead. Like, they're either going to be left with no cards in hand or like 1 or 2, because even though there's diversity in having 3 Bakugan of different factions in your deck, there is not a lot of diversity in this game, because one of those 3 Bakugan that you are using is Aquos, and that means that half of your deck is Aquos. So even turn 4, this can be fairly devastating. The only repercussion of using this turn 4 is that they are more likely to have drawn into their Baku Slumber, or the fact that they are able to dump their hand out in response to this, more so as if you activated this turn 2. This is a disgusting card, and it either forces your opponent to use everything or lose everything, and that is very destructive for the game. That is very destructive for the game, especially if you can actually get this out turn 1 with Song of Fire. You can get this out as fast as you want. If you build your deck for it, you can get it as fast as you want, and with Baku Treasure at 3, and with Gear card we're going to see shortly at 3, there is a very fast way you can scan through your deck in order to get this card as fast as possible without burning any energy that you would use for that Super Fuel and Song of Fire. Even so, if you Song of Fire turn 1, you have 1 spare energy, and then you can use this as well. So Darkushadow, kind of nuts. It is, everyone is going to be using this that is using Darkus. That's a fact. If not at 3 of, a 2 of for sure. It is a staple 2 of if you're running Darkus. So It's one of those cards. It's another card that says if you don't run this, you lose. Whoever draws this first wins. Good. I love this aspect of the game. It's very good. Fusion Mudshield, as I said in our previous video with the rapid fire deck, we were bound to see this Aquos and Ventus dual faction 0 cost flip. Shout out Bakugan 2020 for having the slash in the middle instead of the or and the spaces like your other mixed flips. Oops, what's consistency? I don't know, but this is going to be the one that you would play instead of the Darkus Pyrus, as well as your Aquos and Darkus obscuring evade. That's all there is to this card. It's pretty self-explanatory. Baku-Denied, one of our many exclamation points. Whoever did the titles for this set was very enthusiastic. Overly enthusiastic, not only with the card design, but with the titles here. As you see, Baku-Denied! 1 cost destroy Baku gear. Not worth it because 1 flip unreliable when you want it. The cost is good for what it is. Honestly, it could have gotten away with being 0 cost, but again, it's just unreliable. The only thing that is exciting about this card is that Maxotar makes its appearance yet again, when we haven't seen Maxotar in like a good while. I thought he was dead. Ready for more? It is just like the one with Magnus and the Slav squatting Enoch. It is the flip 3 or more, and it's only a draw 1, so it is definitely not worth the investment. Merciless Bakubrawler, 4 cost. Opposing energy cards do not recharge at the end of turn. Now this one is very, very tempting. I really like it, especially for flip decks, because if your opponent wins, they have most likely spent a lot of their energy. And if you're playing a flip deck, which I do not advise, but this is the only thing that I can see this in, because its 4 cost is kind of ridiculous. And if you're not using a flip deck that would already be using lightning, it's not that good. And I believe this is just a regular flip, so you can't cheese it out with Leah or Strata. Like, you can't make it cheaper. So the only thing that makes this cheaper is lightning, and that's the, like, you're not going to see this outside of flip decks, and flip decks don't exist. Don't worry about it. But I actually really like this. It has potential. Magnus on the run. Okay, now speaking of potential, I really like these Baku heroes because they're basically action cards that you get to reuse over and over again as soon as you activate your team attack. So Magnus on the run is a 2 cost. Choose a player to discard a card, and after your team attack, you get to return this to your hand. So for the value that you have for this, it's not too great, but if you're already running hero decks, you're going to be using that BR strata that makes it cost 2 less. So basically, you're getting a 0 cost discard a card, and then you get it back, and then you can continue doing that every 3 turns as long as you're winning consistently. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about these heroes coming up. We're going to talk them in aspect to running them in a hero deck to where you could use these for 2 less. Similar to how we always discuss gears as 2 less, I'm only going to be discussing the Baku heroes as 2 less. Because that's the only deck that you should see these in, because 2 costs for a discard a card is not very good. It's not very good whatsoever. So Everett Ray and Maxodon, another 0 cost, quote unquote. When you play this, give a Bakugan plus 400, and then 3 turns later, boom, grab it back to your hand. That's very good. I like it. Woo! And then 3 cost, 1 cost, draw 2. 1 cost, draw 2. Ooh, and then you get to add it back to your hand. Ooh. And not to mention the total waifu material right there in the front. Ooh, who said Bakugan didn't have gals? Not me. I knew Olivia Styles from day one. Best Baku mom. If you disagree, I'm just sorry. You're flat out wrong. There's no discussion. Olivia Styles is hands down best Baku mom. If you're Barbecuso gang, cringe. If you're Barbecuso gang, she's the worst. Cringe. Sorry. You lose. You lost in deck building phase. China Riot and Barbetra. When you play this, energize the top card of your deck uncharged for 1 cost. Okay, that's fine, but for 3 costs, overpriced. This could have definitely been a 2 cost and play it for free. That would have been very good, but I feel like they overvalue being able to energize in addition to your energize per turn. I think that's something Bakugan really holds to a high standard, and thus they kind of limit them in a way. But for 1 cost, that's very forgiving, but with that setup, as I said. Now, this is the thing that I was talking about with Darkushadow, to where you can constantly draw. This is Baku Treasure 2.0, but it does require you to land on a gear reduction, and it basically has to be in tandem with a reroll for you to get the max value out of this. So it is a little bit more situational than Baku Treasure, where it's literally just free value. This is free value with a setup, so it's 0 cost, quote unquote, if you land on a gear reduction core and you draw a card for 100B and 1 damage. That's kind of irrelevant. What you're really wanting is that draw aspect. So draw. Congratulations, you now have a 34 card deck. Isn't that hilarious? Isn't that great? Yes, I love drawing my Darkushadow and all my sync cards whenever I want. Yes, this is really good. Insert burn. Too bad Darkushadow exists. Like, combo decks get a huge boost from this because Serpentease doesn't really care if it lands on a 200 +3 -2 Fire Fist. They don't really care about the +6, and they were already running Tempest Generator to get the rerolls. So this is just a perfect fit for Serpentease. And honestly, Aurelus Trox does not really care what gear it lands on, as long as it just can keep re-rolling. So this is a perfect fit in combo decks. This is a huge boon for combo decks, and I am very excited to see what they do in lieu of Darkushadow. As long as they don't see a Darkus Bakugan on the opposite side of the field, combo decks can go off, because combo decks now have 34 cards in their deck. That's insane. That's insane. So that's pretty much all that is. And this is, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? A 6 cost, quote unquote, gear for 3000 B power. And it's a gear. It's a gear. So it is permanent. And there's still not a great amount of gear destruction. There's that one in Ventus, and then there's Washed Away, which is a 2 cost negate. But if you don't have it in your hand by the time this comes out, looks like whatever Bakugan this is equipped to, you're going to take its damage no matter what, and you better pray that it is not the one activating the team attack, because it's just guaranteed at this point, unless you have the Macmock. But okay, if you have it, you have it. Like, that's just what this game has become with this set. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, sorry. Like, the amount of power creep in options that are being reduced in just the competitive gameplay. Like, if you don't play Aquos, you lose. If you don't play Darkus, which, you know, I always wanted Darkus to be good, but it has to be in tandem with Aquos, you lose. Like, it's just basically, what's your flavor color? What's your flavor color? Are you going to have Ventus for your flavor color? Are you going to have Haos for your flavor color? Because you're going to run Darkus and Aquos. It's just whether or not you're going to run any of the 3 other factions. And if you run Aurelus as your 3rd one, sorry, you just lost. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're being tossed in the mud pit, and it's not even the fun mud pit. It's the kiddie mud pit. The one, you're being banished to toy battling game. You're being banished to baby game. Sorry. If that's your deck building skills, goodbye. Unless it's Aurelus Titan Hydro Knight Ultra, because I have a personal bias, but that's the only reason. That's the only reason. This card is disgusting. We had Haos Bracers, which was a 6 cost, which I think it brought it down to 4 for 1000. But the fact that this triples that for, I think, only like 2 more cost, yeah, definitely only 2 more cost, is insane. And not for the fact that you can cheese this out way sooner. So, oops, looks like I have this beast at like 5000 B power, just walking around acting like he owns the place. And he does. What are you going to do? Stop him? But anyway, that's that. Those are the exciting leaks that we've been waiting all week to unveil. Sorry I didn't upload yesterday. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Today, we have this. So I just had to work up the courage, in all honesty. So what do you think of these new leaks? I know you probably knew them already, but for the general populace, I wanted to bring this to your attention because these cards are monstrous, dangerous, and disgusting. Fusion Force is a set that I would personally rather forget sooner than later, and I can personally wait until it comes out. Not gonna lie to you, I'd rather stay on AV format for a while. I postpone this as long as possible. But what do you guys think? Don't forget to let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you don't follow me at Magnus of YouTube on Twitter, you smell you are a smelly boy, and the only thing that can wash away the sin of you not following me on Twitter is fill in the blank there. With that being said, take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. It's dangerous. Happy 4th of July coming up tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic day. Mwah.